My stepfather told me when I was 6 that he'd never be my real dad. I flinched at his cold honesty. My mother stood silently, her indifference stinging more than words. I learned then that I was alone. That suitcase on my 18th birthday wasn't just luggage, it was a message. The moment I met Camila, I told her everything, clinging to a hope she'd understand. For a while she did. But even understanding love can turn into pressure. When Camila first met my mother at a diner, she whispered, "She seems misunderstood." I wanted to laugh and cry. Misunderstood doesn't toss your kid out with a suitcase. But Camila held my hand tight, promising, "We'll build better." Her warmth felt real, like shelter from old storms. Still, when she brought up family therapy months later, I froze. I've survived without fixing them. I muttered. Her eyes didn't meet mine. The emotional boundary I guarded started to feel like a wall she wanted to tear down. Camila booked a surprise brunch with my parents behind my back. "They deserve a chance," she said. I stared at the reservation on her phone. Hands trembling, Logan texted, sensing something was off. "Don't let anyone rewrite your story." I canceled the brunch. Camila sobbed, calling me cruel. That suitcase flashed again in my mind. I wasn't ready to relive that chapter, not to please anyone, not even her. Weeks later, I found Camila texting my mother without telling me. "He'll come around, he's just scared," she wrote. My breath caught. Betrayal doesn't always come in screams. Sometimes, it's soft, smiling, and thinks it knows what's best. I confronted her, she cried, claiming she just wanted to help. By crossing the line I drew to protect myself, I snapped. For the first time, I saw her not as a partner but a threat to my healing. I stayed with Logan for a few days. One night, we drank too much, and I confessed everything, how I felt small again. "Cornered, you deserve someone who respects your scars," he said. I nodded, gripping that same suitcase I'd left Camila's with. It sat by the door, like a symbol I couldn't escape. Maybe this was my cycle: packing, leaving, surviving. But a quiet part of me wondered if surviving was all I wanted. Then came the twist. My mother texted me, "I'm proud of you for setting boundaries." It wasn't closure, but it was real. Camila had shared my pain trying to fix it, but she never sat with it. That moment, I realized love that demands healing on its timeline isn't love, it's control. Logan hugged me as I wept. The suitcase still sat packed. But maybe this time it wasn't about leaving, it was about choosing peace. I returned to Camila's apartment to pick up the rest. She sat silent. "I'm not your project," I said, voice calm but final. The suitcase in my hand felt lighter. Logan waited outside, engine running. I looked at her one last time. "Love listens," I added. She didn't reply. That told me everything. Logan's spare room became my new space. No questions, no fixes, just quiet understanding. My mother's text replayed in my head, softer each time. I didn't know what came next, but I finally felt still. That suitcase, it's now in a closet, not by the door. Maybe healing starts not with running but choosing who's safe enough to stay for.